Life is a beautiful journey, but it's not always smooth sailing. We all face challenges, obstacles, and situations that are beyond our control. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of life, to feel overwhelmed and powerless. But what if I told you that there's a way to find peace and happiness even in the midst of uncertainty? Today, I want to share with you a powerful lesson that has transformed my life, and I believe it can transform yours too. It's the art of letting go of what you can't control. Many of us spend our lives trying to control every aspect of our existence. We want to control our relationships, our careers, our health, and even the opinions of others. But the truth is, there are so many things in life that are simply beyond our control. No matter how hard we try, we can't change the past, predict the future, or control the actions of others. And when we fixate on these things, we create unnecessary stress, anxiety, and unhappiness in our lives. I know this from personal experience. For years, I struggled with the need to control everything and everyone around me. I thought that if I could just manage every detail of my life, I would find happiness and success. But the more I tried to control, the more frustrated and exhausted I became. It was like trying to swim upstream in a raging river. No matter how hard I fought, I couldn't make any progress. It wasn't until I learned the power of letting go that my life began to change. I realized that true peace and happiness come not from controlling the world around us, but from learning to accept and adapt to it. When we let go of what we can't control, we free ourselves from the burden of unnecessary stress and worry. We open ourselves up to new possibilities and opportunities that we may have missed when we were too focused on trying to control everything. So how do we let go of what we can't control? The first step is to recognize what those things are. Take a moment to think about the areas of your life where you feel the most stress and anxiety. Are you worrying about the future, dwelling on the past, or trying to change someone else's behavior? These are all things that are ultimately beyond your control. Once you've identified what you can't control, the next step is to accept it. This doesn't mean that you have to like it or be happy about it, but it does mean acknowledging that it's a reality. Fighting against reality is a losing battle that only creates more stress and frustration. Instead, try to find ways to work with what you can't control rather than against it. For example, let's say you're worried about losing your job. While you can't control whether or not your company decides to lay you off, you can control how you react to that possibility. You can start updating your resume, networking with others in your industry, and exploring new job opportunities. By focusing on what you can control, you'll feel more empowered and less anxious about the future. Another way to let go of what you can't control is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the act of being present in the moment without judgment or distraction. When we're mindful, we're not dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. We're simply experiencing the present moment as it is. One simple mindfulness technique is to focus on your breath. Take a few deep breaths and pay attention to the sensation of the air moving in and out of your lungs. When your mind starts to wander, and it will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. This practice can help you feel more grounded and centered, even in the midst of chaos. It's also important to remember that letting go of what you can't control doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It's about being strategic and proactive in the areas of your life where you do have control. When you let go of what you can't change, you free up energy and resources to focus on what you can change. For instance, you may not be able to control the fact that you have a chronic illness, but you can control how you take care of yourself. You can eat a healthy diet, exercise regularly, and follow your doctor's orders. By focusing on what you can control, you'll feel more empowered and less helpless in the face of your illness. Another key aspect of letting go is learning to trust the journey of life. So often we get caught up in the idea that we need to have everything figured out, that we need to know exactly where we're going and how we're going to get there. But the truth is, life is unpredictable. No matter how much we plan and prepare, there will always be surprises and detours along the way. When we learn to trust the journey, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and opportunities. We become more flexible and adaptable, able to roll with the punches and find joy in the unexpected. We stop fighting against the flow of life and start moving with it, allowing ourselves to be carried to new and exciting places. Of course, trusting the journey doesn't mean that we should just sit back and let life happen to us. It's important to have goals and dreams and to work towards them with passion and determination. But it does mean surrendering to the fact that we can't control every aspect of the journey. We have to be willing to let go of our attachment to a specific outcome and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. One way to cultivate trust in the journey is to practice gratitude. When we focus on the things we're grateful for, we shift our attention away from what we can't control and towards the blessings in our lives. We start to see the beauty and wonder in the world around us, even in the midst of challenges and obstacles. Try keeping a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. They can be big things like your health or your loved ones, or small things like a delicious meal or a beautiful sunset. The more you practice gratitude, the more you'll start to see the good in your life, even when things are tough. Another way to let go of what you can't control is to surround yourself with positive, supportive people. When we're struggling with anxiety or stress, it's easy to isolate ourselves and feel like we're alone in our struggles. But the truth is, we all need support and connection to thrive. Seek out friends, family members, or even a therapist who can offer a listening ear and a compassionate heart. Share your struggles and your fears and allow yourself to be vulnerable. When we open up to others, we often find that we're not alone in our struggles and that there are people who care about us and want to help. It's also important to remember that letting go of what we can't control is a process, not a one-time event. There will be times when we slip back into old patterns of worry and control, and that's okay. The key is to be gentle with ourselves and to keep coming back to the practice of letting go. One helpful tool for letting go is the serenity prayer, which goes like this: grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This simple prayer reminds us to focus on what we can control, to let go of what we can't, and to trust that we have the strength and resilience to handle whatever comes our way. Ultimately, letting go of what we can't control is about finding peace and freedom in the present moment. It's about accepting that life is uncertain and unpredictable. And that's okay. It's about trusting that we have the resilience and the resources to handle whatever challenges come our way. When we let go of the need to control everything, we open ourselves up to a world of possibility and wonder. We become more present, more grateful, and more joyful. We start to see the beauty and the magic in the world around us, even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty. So my invitation to you today is to start practicing the art of letting go. Identify the things in your life that you can't control and practice accepting them with grace and compassion. Focus on what you can control and take proactive steps to create the life you want. Surround yourself with positive, supportive people and trust that you have the strength and the resilience to handle whatever comes your way. Remember, letting go isn't about giving up or being passive. It's about being strategic and proactive in the areas of your life where you do have control. It's about finding peace and freedom in the present moment, even in the midst of uncertainty and change. As you go through your day-to-day, take a moment to pause and reflect on what you're holding on to that you can't control. Is it a past hurt or disappointment? Is it a future worry or fear? Is it the opinion or behavior of someone else? Whatever it is, take a deep breath and imagine yourself releasing your grip on it. Feel the weight lifting off your shoulders and the peace and freedom that comes with letting go. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. We are all learning and growing and struggling and thriving together. And when we support each other and share our wisdom and our compassion, we create a world that is more loving, more connected, and more resilient. So let go of what you can't control and embrace the beauty and the possibility of the present moment. Trust the journey of life and know that you have the strength and the resilience to handle whatever comes your way. And most importantly, remember that you are worthy of peace, happiness, and love, just as you are. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best on your journey of letting go and finding peace in the present moment. Remember, you've got this. You are stronger than you know, and you are capable of incredible things. So keep going, keep growing, and keep letting go of what you can't control. The world needs your light and your love now more than ever. As we continue to explore the art of letting go, it's important to remember that this practice is not just about the big, life-changing moments. It's also about the small, everyday choices we make to release our grip on what we can't control and focus on what we can. One of the most common areas where we struggle with control is in our relationships. We may try to control how our loved ones behave, what they think or feel, or even how they live their lives. But the truth is, we can't control anyone else's actions or emotions. We can only control our own. When we try to control others, we create tension and resentment in our relationships. We communicate a lack of trust and respect for their autonomy and individuality. And in the end, we often end up pushing them away rather than bringing them closer. So how do we let go of the need to control others? The first step is to recognize that everyone is on their own unique journey, with their own lessons to learn and their own paths to follow. We can offer our love, support, and guidance, but ultimately we have to trust that they will find their own way. Another way to let go of control in relationships is to focus on our own personal growth and development. When we're secure in ourselves and our own worth, we're less likely to feel the need to control others. We can show up in our relationships as our authentic selves without the fear of rejection or abandonment. It's also important to communicate openly and honestly with our loved ones about our needs and boundaries. When we're clear about what we can and cannot accept in a relationship, we create a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. We let go of the need to control the other person and instead focus on creating a healthy, supportive dynamic. Of course, letting go of control in relationships doesn't mean that we should tolerate abuse, neglect, or disrespect. It's important to set clear boundaries and to stand up for ourselves when necessary. But it does mean recognizing that we can't change someone else's behavior or choices. We can only change our own. Another area where we often struggle with control is in our work and career. We may try to control every aspect of a project, micromanage our team members, or even sabotage our own success out of fear of failure. But the truth is, there are so many factors in our work lives that are beyond our control: the economy, the actions of our colleagues or clients, even the weather on the day of a big presentation. When we try to control every aspect of our work, we create unnecessary stress and anxiety for ourselves. We may miss out on opportunities for collaboration, innovation, and growth, and we may even burn out or lose sight of what truly matters in our careers. So how do we let go of control in our work lives? One way is to focus on our own personal development and skill building. When we're confident in our abilities and our value, we're less likely to feel the need to control every aspect of a project. We can trust in our own competence and in the competence of our team members. Another way to let go of control at work is to embrace flexibility and adaptability. In today's fast-paced, ever-changing world, the most successful professionals are those who can pivot and adjust to new challenges and opportunities. When we're rigid and inflexible, we miss out on the chance to learn, grow, and innovate. It's also important to communicate openly and honestly with our colleagues and supervisors about our needs, expectations, and boundaries. When we're clear about what we can and cannot take on, we create a culture of mutual respect and understanding. We let go of the need to control every aspect of a project and instead focus on our own contributions and the contributions of our team. Of course, letting go of control at work doesn't mean that we should be passive or disengaged. It's important to take ownership of our own success and to be proactive in seeking out opportunities for growth and advancement. But it does mean recognizing that we can't control every aspect of our work lives. We can only control our own actions, attitudes, and choices. Beyond our relationships and our work, letting go of control is also about embracing the unknown and the unpredictable. So often we try to plan and predict every aspect of our lives, from what we'll eat for breakfast to where we'll be in 5 years. But the truth is, life is full of surprises and detours. No matter how much we plan and prepare, there will always be things that catch us off guard. When we try to control the unknown, we create unnecessary anxiety and stress for ourselves. We may miss out on opportunities for growth, adventure, and spontaneity. And we may even hold ourselves back from pursuing our dreams and passions out of fear of the unknown. So how do we let go of the need to control the unknown? One way is to cultivate a sense of curiosity and openness. Instead of trying to predict and plan for every possible outcome, we can approach life with a sense of wonder and exploration. We can embrace the idea that there is always something new to learn and discover, even in the midst of uncertainty. Another way to let go of control in the face of the unknown is to focus on the present moment. When we're fully engaged in the here and now, we're less likely to worry about the future or dwell on the past. We can find joy and meaning in the simple pleasures of life, like a warm cup of coffee or a beautiful sunrise. It's also important to cultivate a support system of loved ones, friends, and mentors who can offer guidance and encouragement in times of uncertainty. When we feel supported and connected, we're more likely to take risks and step outside of our comfort zones. We can let go of the need to control every aspect of our lives and instead trust in the love and support of those around us. Of course, letting go of control in the face of the unknown doesn't mean that we should be reckless or impulsive. It's important to make informed decisions and to take calculated risks. But it does mean recognizing that we can't control every aspect of our lives. We can only control our own actions, attitudes, and choices in the present moment. Ultimately, the art of letting go is about finding freedom and peace in the midst of uncertainty and change. It's about recognizing that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by how we choose to respond to them. It's about embracing the beauty and the possibility of the present moment, even when the future is unclear. As we practice the art of letting go, we may find that we become more resilient, more adaptable, and more joyful. We may find that we're able to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and grace. And we may even inspire others to let go of their own need for control and embrace the freedom and peace that comes with living in the present. So as you go through your day today, remember to take a deep breath and let go of what you can't control. Trust in the journey of life and know that you have the strength and the resilience to handle whatever comes your way. Embrace the unknown and find joy and meaning in the simple pleasures of the present moment. And most importantly, remember that you are not alone in this journey. We are all learning and growing and struggling and thriving together. When we support each other and share our wisdom and our compassion, we create a world that is more loving, more connected, and more resilient. So keep going, keep growing, and keep letting go. The world needs your light and your love now more than ever. And remember, you've got this. You are stronger than you know, and you are capable of incredible things. As we continue to explore the art of letting go, it's important to remember that this practice is not just about the big life-changing moments. It's also about the small, everyday choices we make to release our grip on what we can't control and focus on what we can. One of the most common areas where we struggle with control is in our relationships with ourselves. We may try to control our thoughts, our emotions, or even our bodies. We may set unrealistic expectations for ourselves or beat ourselves up when we fall short. But the truth is, we can't control every aspect of our inner lives. We can only control how we choose to respond to what arises within us. When we try to control our thoughts and emotions, we create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. We may resist or suppress difficult feelings only to have them come back even stronger. We may get caught up in negative self-talk or self-criticism, which only serves to undermine our confidence and self-worth. So how do we let go of the need to control our inner lives? The first step is to practice self-awareness and self-compassion. When we're able to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we create space for them to arise and pass away naturally. We can acknowledge our human imperfections and struggles and treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. Another way to let go of control in our relationship with ourselves is to focus on our values and priorities. When we're clear about what truly matters to us, we're less likely to get caught up in the small stuff. We can make choices that align with our deepest desires and aspirations rather than trying to control every aspect of our lives. It's also important to practice self-care and self-nurturing. When we take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually, we're better able to handle the ups and downs of life. We can let go of the need to be perfect or to have it all together and instead focus on our own well-being and growth. Of course, letting go of control in our relationship with ourselves doesn't mean that we should be self-indulgent or neglectful. It's important to set healthy boundaries and to take responsibility for our own actions and choices. But it does mean recognizing that we are human and that we will always be a work in progress. We can let go of the need to control every aspect of our inner lives and instead focus on cultivating a sense of inner peace and wholeness. Beyond our relationship with ourselves, letting go of control is also about embracing change and impermanence. So often we try to hold on to things that are inevitably going to change: our youth, our health, our relationships, even our material possessions. But the truth is, nothing in life is permanent. Everything is in a constant state of flux and transformation. When we try to control change and impermanence, we create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. We may resist letting go of things that are no longer serving us or cling to the past out of fear of the unknown. We may even miss out on opportunities for growth and transformation because we're too busy trying to keep things the same. So how do we let go of the need to control change and impermanence? One way is to practice acceptance and non-attachment. When we're able to accept that change as a natural part of life, we're less likely to resist it or fight against it. We can let go of our attachment to specific outcomes or possessions and instead focus on the present moment. Another way to let go of control in the face of change is to cultivate a sense of trust and surrender. When we trust in the wisdom of the universe and the natural unfolding of life, we're more likely to go with the flow and adapt to new circumstances. We can let go of the need to control every aspect of our lives and instead surrender to the mystery and the beauty of the journey. It's also important to practice mindfulness and presence in the midst of change. When we're fully engaged in the here and now, we're less likely to get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. We can find joy and meaning in the simple pleasures of life, even as the world around us is constantly shifting and changing. Of course, letting go of control in the face of change and impermanence doesn't mean that we should be passive or fatalistic. It's important to take action and to make choices that align with our values and priorities. But it does mean recognizing that we can't control every aspect of our lives. We can only control our own attitudes, actions, and responses in the present moment. Ultimately, the art of letting go is about finding peace and freedom in the midst of a world that is constantly changing and unpredictable. It's about recognizing that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by how we choose to show up in each moment. It's about embracing the beauty and the possibility of the present, even as the future remains uncertain. As we practice the art of letting go, we may find that we become more adaptable, more resilient, and more joyful. We may find that we're able to navigate life's changes and challenges with greater ease and grace. And we may even inspire others to let go of their own need for control and embrace the freedom and peace that comes with living in the present. So as you go through your day today, remember to take a deep breath and let go of what you can't control. Trust in the wisdom of the universe and know that you have the strength and the resilience to handle whatever comes your way. Embrace change and impermanence and find joy and meaning in the simple pleasures of the present moment. And most importantly, remember that you are not alone in this journey. We are all learning and growing and struggling and thriving together. When we support each other and share our wisdom and our compassion, we create a world that is more loving, more connected, and more resilient. So keep going, keep growing, and keep letting go. The world needs your light and your love now more than ever. And remember, you've got this. You are stronger than you know, and you are capable of incredible things. As we near the end of our exploration of the art of letting go, it's important to remember that this practice is not a one-time event, but a lifelong journey. There will always be new challenges and obstacles to face, new fears and doubts to overcome, new opportunities for growth and transformation. But with each challenge and each opportunity, we have the chance to deepen our practice of letting go. We can continue to cultivate self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-care. We can continue to focus on our values and priorities and make choices that align with our deepest desires and aspirations. We can continue to embrace change and impermanence and find joy and meaning in the present moment. As we let go of the need to control every aspect of our lives, we may find that we have more energy and resources to devote to the things that truly matter. We may find that we're able to show up more fully and authentically in our relationships, our work, and our communities. We may even find that we're able to make a positive impact on the world around us by living our lives with greater purpose and intention. Of course, the journey of letting go is not always easy. There will be times when we slip back into old patterns of control and resistance. There will be times when we feel overwhelmed by the uncertainty and unpredictability of life. But even in these moments, we can remember the power of letting go. We can take a deep breath and remind ourselves that we are not alone and that we have the strength and the resilience to keep going. One of the most powerful tools we have in our practice of letting go is the power of gratitude. When we focus on the things we're grateful for, we shift our attention away from what we can't control and towards the blessings in our lives. We start to see the beauty and the wonder in the world around us, even in the midst of challenges and obstacles. So as you go through your day today, take a moment to pause and reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or a beautiful sunset. Whatever it is, allow yourself to feel the joy and the appreciation that comes with recognizing the good in your life. And as you continue on your journey of letting go, remember to be kind and compassionate with yourself. Remember that you are human and that you will make mistakes and face setbacks along the way. But also remember that you have the power to choose how you respond to these challenges. You have the power to let go of what you can't control and focus on what you can. Ultimately, the art of letting go is about finding peace, freedom, and joy in the present moment. It's about recognizing that life is a beautiful, mysterious, and unpredictable journey and that we are all in this together. It's about embracing the unknown and trusting that we have the strength and the resilience to handle whatever comes our way. So as you go through your day today and in the days and weeks and months ahead, remember to keep practicing the art of letting go. Remember to take deep breaths, to focus on your values and priorities, to embrace change and impermanence, and to find gratitude in the simple pleasures of life. And most importantly, remember that you are not alone in this journey. Remember that you are part of a larger community of people who are all learning and growing and struggling and thriving together. Remember that when we support each other and share our wisdom and our compassion, we create a world that is more loving, more connected, and more resilient. So keep going, keep growing, and keep letting go. The world needs your light and your love now more than ever. And remember, you've got this. You are stronger than you know, and you are capable of incredible things. Thank you for joining me on this journey of letting go. May you find peace, freedom, and joy in the present moment, and may you continue to grow and thrive in all that you do. And may you always remember that you are loved, you are supported, and you are never alone.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something that might sting a little, but trust me, it's going to be the wake-up call you need. Are you ready? Here it is. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your excuses, your sob stories, or why you can't do something. The world out there, it's not waiting for you to get your act together. It's moving on with or without you. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to work harder. That's right. Nobody cares. Work harder. Now, I can see some of you squirming in your seats. You're thinking, that's harsh. Surely someone cares. And you're right to an extent. Your mama cares. Your dog cares. maybe your best friend cares. But out there in the real world, in the arena where success is won and lost, nobody cares about your problems. They only care about results. Think about it. When was the last time you got a standing ovation for showing up late to work with a great excuse? When was the last time someone handed you a promotion because you tried really hard but didn't quite make it? Never? That's when. Because in the real world, results are what matter, and results only come from one thing. But here's the beautiful thing about this harsh truth. It's liberating. When you realize that nobody cares, it frees you from the need for external validation. It frees you from the paralysis of waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect circumstances. Because guess what? Those things don't exist. So instead of waiting for someone to care, instead of hoping for a lucky break, you're going to put your head down and work. You're going to outwork everyone around you. You're going to be the first one in and the last one out. You're going to be the one who's still grinding while others are sleeping. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but I'm already working hard. I'm already doing my best. Well, let me ask you this. Are you really pushing yourself to your limits? Or are you just doing what's comfortable, what's expected? Most people are operating at about 40 to their potential. They think they're working hard, but they've got so much more in the tank. They've got gears they haven't even shifted into yet. And that's where you're going to separate yourself from the pack. You're going to tap into that extra 60. You're going to push past what's comfortable, what's easy, and venture into the realm of the extraordinary. This isn't about burning yourself out. This isn't about working yourself into the ground. This is about smart work, focused work, deliberate work. It's about making every minute count, every action purposeful, every effort aligned with your goals. You see, when you truly internalize the idea that nobody cares, it becomes a superpower. It becomes fuel for your fire. Because now you're not working for approval. You're not working for applause. You're working for you. You're working because you got a vision, a dream, a goal that's bigger than any obstacle, any setback, any naysayer. When you work like that, when you work with that kind of intensity, that kind of focus, that kind of purpose, that's when people start to take notice. That's when opportunities start to appear. That's when success starts to become inevitable. But it's the kickers. By the time people start to notice, by the time the opportunities come rolling in, by the time success is knocking at your door, you won't care because you'll have already found something more valuable than other people's approval. You'll have found self-respect. You'll have found the satisfaction of knowing that you gave it your all, that you squeezed every ounce of potential out of yourself. No, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This journey isn't going to be easy. There are going to be days when you want to quit, days when you wonder if it's all worth it, days when the voice in your head tells you to take it easy, to slow down, to give up. And you know what? Everyone else will tell you the same thing. They'll tell you you're working too hard, that you need to relax, that you're going to burn out. But nobody cares. Not about your struggles, not about your doubts, not about your fears. The only thing that matters is what you do. So when those tough days come, when the doubts creep in, when the fatigue sets in, that's when you dig deeper. That's when you remind yourself why you started this journey in the first place. That's when you look at how far you've come and realize how much further you can go. Hard work compounds. Every extra hour you put in, every additional effort you make, it all adds up. It's like interest in a bank account. At first, you might not see much difference, but over time, it becomes a fortune. Your skills sharpen, your knowledge deepens, your resilience strengthens, and before you know it, you're operating on a level that your old self couldn't even imagine. But you've got to be patient. You've got to trust the process. In a world of instant gratification, in a culture that celebrates overnight success, you've got to be willing to play the long game. You've got to be willing to work in silence, to grind in the dark, to keep pushing even when there's no applause, no recognition, no reward in sight, because that's where greatness is forged. In those quiet moments of struggle, in those unseen hours of effort, in those private battles against your own limitations, that's where you become the person you're meant to be. That's where you build the foundation for a level of success that most people can only dream of. Now, let me be clear about something. When I say nobody cares, work harder, I'm not saying that relationships don't matter. I'm not saying you should neglect your family, your friends, your health. What I'm saying is that in the arena of achievement, in the pursuit of your goals, you can't rely on others to motivate you, to push you, to believe in you. That has to come from within. You've got to be your own biggest fan, your own toughest critic, your own relentless motivator. You've got to care so much about your dreams that it doesn't matter if anyone else cares. You've got to want it so bad that you're willing to work for it. Even when the work isn't fun, even when it's not exciting, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Because here's a secret that most people don't understand. Success isn't about the big moments. It's not about the breakthroughs, the eureka moments, the overnight transformations. Real, lasting success is built in the mundane moments. It's built in the daily grind, in the repetitive tasks, in the unsexy work that nobody sees and nobody applauds. It's about showing up every day, especially on the days when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work, especially when the work isn't rewarding. It's about pushing yourself, especially when every fiber of your being is screaming for you to take it easy. That's what separates the achievers from the dreamers, the winners from the wishers, the doers from the talkers. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not who you know. It's the willingness to work harder than everyone else, day in and day out, regardless of whether anyone notices or cares. Now, I want you to think about something. Think about the person you want to be. Think about the goals you want to achieve. Think about the life you want to live. Got it? Good. Now, here's the question. What are you willing to do to make that vision a reality? What are you willing to sacrifice? What comfort zones are you willing to step out of? What risks are you willing to take? Because I'll tell you right now, that vision isn't going to manifest itself. Those goals aren't going to achieve themselves. That dream life isn't going to fall into your lap. You've got to work for it. You've got to work harder than you've ever worked before. You've got to work with an intensity, a focus, a determination that might seem crazy to others. But here's the thing. It's not about them. Remember? Nobody cares. This is about you. This is about you becoming the best version of yourself. This is about you maximizing your potential. This is about you creating a life that you're proud of, a life that reflects your values, your passions, your ambitions. When you start working like that, when you start pushing yourself beyond your perceived limits, when you start treating every day as an opportunity to get better, to move closer to your goals, that's when life gets exciting. That's when you start to feel truly alive. Because there's nothing more exhilarating than knowing you're giving your all. There's nothing more satisfying than knowing you're squeezing every ounce of potential out of yourself. There's nothing more empowering than knowing that no matter what happens, no matter what obstacles you face, you've got the work ethic, the resilience, the determination to overcome. Now, I'm going to let you in on another secret. The hardest person you'll ever have to lead is yourself. It's easy to work hard when someone's watching, when there's immediate reward, when there's external pressure. But can you work just as hard when no one's watching? Can you push just as much when there's no immediate payoff? Can you stay committed to your goals even when it feels like you're not making progress? That's the test. That's where champions are made. In those private moments of choice, where you decide to work when you could rest, to push when you could coast, to believe when doubt is screaming in your ear. Those moments define you. Those moments shape your future. And here's the beautiful thing. Every time you make the hard choice, every time you choose work over comfort, discipline over distraction, perseverance over giving up, you're not just moving closer to your goals. You're building character. You're developing mental toughness. You're becoming the kind of person who's capable of achieving anything they set their mind to. But it all starts with accepting that hard truth. Nobody cares. The world isn't waiting for you to get your act together. Success isn't going to come knocking on your door. You got to go out there and create it. You've got to work for it. You've got to fight for it. You've got to want it more than you want to breathe. So here's what I want you to do. Starting today, I want you to adopt this mindset. I want you to wake up every morning and remind yourself, nobody cares, work harder. I want you to plaster it on your walls, set it as your phone background, tattoo it on your forehead if you have to. Let it be the first thought you have when you open your eyes and the last thought before you go to sleep. And then I want you to act on it. I want you to look at every area of your life, your career, your relationships, your health, your personal growth, and ask yourself, am I working as hard as I could be? Am I pushing myself to my limits? Am I making excuses or making progress? Be honest with yourself. Brutally honest. Because remember, nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares about your justifications. The only thing that matters is what you do. So if you find areas where you're slacking, where you're not giving it your all, that's where you need to double down. That's where you need to apply this principle of working harder. But remember, it's not just about working hard. It's about working smart. It's about focusing your efforts on the things that truly matter, the actions that will move the needle towards your goals. Don't confuse activity with product. Don't mistake busyness for effectiveness. Every action should have a purpose. Every effort should be aligned with your vision. And as you do this, as you start to embody this mindset of nobody cares, work harder, I want you to pay attention to something. Pay attention to how you feel. Because here's what's going to happen. Your body's going to resist. Your mind's going to revolt. Every fiber of your being is going to scream for you to take it easy, to slow down, to give. But if you push through that initial resistance, if you keep going even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, something magical happens. You start to feel stronger. You start to feel more confident. You start to feel a sense of pride and self-respect that no external validation could ever match. And that feeling, that's addictive, that's motivating, that's what's going to get you out of bed in the morning. Excited to tackle the day, that's what's going to keep you going when the work gets tough, when the challenges seem insurmountable, when everyone else has given up. Because now you're not working for anyone else's approval. You're not waiting for someone to care. You're doing it for you. You're doing it because you know what you're capable of. You're doing it because you've tasted what it feels like to operate at your full potential, and you can't get enough of it. When you start living like this, when you start pushing yourself to your limits every single day, the results will come. They might not come as quickly as you want. They might not come in the form you expect, but they will come because that level of effort, that level of dedication, that level of perseverance, it's unstoppable. You'll start to see changes in yourself first. And you'll become more disciplined, more focused, more resilient. You'll develop a work ethic that sets you apart from the crowd. You'll build skills and knowledge at a pace that leaves others in the dust. And then almost without you noticing, things will start to change around you. Opportunities will start to appear. Doors will start to open. People will start to take notice, not because you're seeking their approval, but because your results are because your growth is unmistakable, because your success becomes inevitable. By the time all that happens, by the time the external rewards start rolling in, you won't need them anymore. because you'll have found something far more valuable. You'll have found self-respect. You'll have found the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you've given it your all. You'll have found the satisfaction of becoming the best version of yourself. And that, my friends, is true success. That's the kind of success that can't be taken away from you. That's the kind of success that doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion or approval. That's the kind of success that comes from embracing the truth that nobody cares. So I want you to leave here today with a fire in your belly and a determination in your heart. I want you to go out into the world and start applying this principle to everything you do. I want you to push yourself harder than you've ever pushed before. I want you to work with an intensity that makes others uncomfortable. I want you to pursue your goals with a single-minded focus that might seem crazy to the outside world. And when the doubts creep in, when the fatigue sets in, when you're tempted to take the easy road, I want you to remember these words: nobody cares. Work harder. Let it be your battle cry. Let it be the fuel that drives you forward when everything else is telling you to give up. You've got greatness inside you. You've got potential that you haven't even begun to tap into. You've got dreams that are worthy of your sweat, your tears, your relentless effort. But nobody's going to realize that potential for you. Nobody's going to achieve those dreams for you. That's on you. And the only way to do it is to work harder than you've ever worked before. So what are you waiting for? The world isn't going to hand you success on a silver platter. Life isn't going to pause while you get your act together. Time isn't going to slow down while you muster up the courage to chase your dreams. The time is now. The person is you. The choice is clear. Nobody cares. Work harder. Make it your mantra. Make it your lifestyle. Make it the principle that guides every decision, every action, every moment of your life. Because when you do that, when you fully embrace this mindset, there's no limit to what you can achieve. There's no dream too big, no goal too ambitious, no summit too high. You've got this. Now get to work. The world is waiting to see what you're truly capable of. Show them, not for their approval, not for their applause, but for you. Because you know what you're worth. You know what you're capable of. And you're not going to stop until you've turned that potential into reality. Nobody cares. Work harder. Now go out there and make yourself proud. Go out there and become the success story you've always dreamed of being. Go out there and show the world what happens when someone decides to stop making excuses and start making progress. Your future self is counting on you. Don't let them down. Work harder